we finished off with chapter 12, right? Right? Chapter 12 was finished, right? We finished off with plant coordination and all. Okay, today we have to start a discussion from chapter number 13, that is your excretion and homeostasis. Chapter 13, excretion and homeostasis. Right, so all living cells, they have multiple metabolic reactions going on inside them. So all of the excess material, metabolic waste, and toxic materials need to be removed from the body, and they're removed by from the body by excretion. Excess material, metabolic waste. One second, let me share this. What's wrong with this? Right, we discussed this in the first chapter as well, that it is removal of all the excess material, metabolic waste, and toxic material from the body. One second. Just give me a sec. Look, it's loading. Metabolic wastes and toxic material. Sorry, one note keeps glitching out. 1 second. Let me reshare it. Toxic material must be removed. Remove from the body. Okay, and they are removed by the process of excretion. Right, we discussed this in the first chapter as well. We were talking about the characteristics of living organisms. Okay. Are removed by excretion. The first substance that is mainly found in your excretion is urea. Okay. So it is a waste product that is produced in the liver in humans. Okay, so it is produced in the liver. And urea is removed from the blood by the kidneys. It is removed from the blood. Okay. Now, kidney also removes excess water and excess ions from the blood, and they produce urine. Kidneys also remove excess water and excess ions from the blood. And produce urine. Urine basically flows from the ureter into the bladder where it is stored. And when the sphincter muscle at the entrance to the urethra relaxes, urine flows out of the body through the urethra. Okay, let me show you the diagram. One second, let me copy it. Just give me a sec. Yes, this one. Okay, let me share the screen back. Okay. So these are what your kidneys look like. Left kidney, right kidney. Okay, you have renal artery, renal vein. Branches off from aorta, obviously, and renal vein goes into your inferior vena cava. These are your ureter that open into the bladder. This stores urine. This is the sphincter muscle, and this is urethra that passes the urine outside the body. Okay, this is where urine is stored, and when this sphincter relaxes, urine flows out of the body through the urethra. Clear? Any questions? Yes, clear? Simple, straightforward stuff. Yes, Leah.
Miss, I'm confused between the renal artery and renal vein and the aorta. So what is the function of all of these?
See, aorta is the main artery, right? That brings blood to all the that brings the blood from the heart, right? Now, aorta won't be supplying it to every single organ, right? You have separate arteries for separate organs, right? Like you have hepatic vein, hepatic artery for your liver. You have renal artery, renal vein for your kidney. Okay, so every organ has a separate artery and vein. Because aorta cannot, come and give it to every organ. Plus the fact that aorta is coming with a lot of pressure, right? So the organs can get damaged because of that blood pressure. So aorta basically divides into different arteries. Okay. Similarly in renal vein, in the veins case, okay, all of the blood won't be, superior and inferior vena cava won't be going to every single organ to collect the blood. All the veins, they from respective organs from wherever they are coming, they come and they drain the blood into your inferior vena cava. Okay.
Okay, so Miss, for example, like in the stomach, we have the hepatic portal vein and the hepatic portal artery, right? So
It's hepatic artery and hepatic portal vein, yes.
yeah, so if they ask us like what vein or artery passes through them to get supplied to the heart, so do we write like aorta or do we write hepatic portal artery?
Hepatic portal vein is for the liver, right?
Oh, one of them is for the stomach.
Yeah, but Basically, liver, stomach, all of them come into the digestive system, right? So they will ask you as a system collectively. Even for the heart, let's see if they're asking you what supplies the blood to the body, that is aorta. If you're talking about the heart, then coronary artery and coronary vein. Okay, like I told you, every organ has its own specific arteries and veins. If they're asking you what supplies to the body, aorta. What collects the blood from the entire body, superior and inferior vena cava. But the specific arteries of the heart and the specific veins of the heart are your coronary arteries and coronary veins. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Anyone else any questions? This is chapter 13. Yes, Umar, it's excretion and homeostasis. But anyone else? Anything else? Saad, Tubasit. And those of you who joined late, we started off with chapter number 13, excretion and homeostasis. Alright. Okay. Now let's talk about the production of your urea. Okay. Okay. So liver makes urea from excess proteins. Okay, so liver makes urea from excess proteins. And amino acids. Animals, including humans, they all are not able to store proteins or amino acids in their bodies. That's why we need to remove it from the bodies. Okay. So basically, what exactly happens? The food that contains carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, they are taken to the into the alimentary canal, right? Obviously, because when you eat, they are going to the alimentary canal. Protein molecules are broken down into amino acids. We discussed this in the digestion chapter. Okay. So amino acids are absorbed into the blood. Okay, and they're taken to the liver via the hepatic portal vein. Okay, so here's where hepatic portal vein is coming into action. Okay. Amino acids that are needed are made into proteins in the liver or released into blood to be assimilated by body cells. Okay, whatever is needed, that is sent to cells. Assimilated means they're absorbed into the cells. Alright. Then amino acids that are not needed are deaminated. Deaminated means there is removal of the amino group of your amino acid. Okay, so that basically turns into a carbohydrate and a nitrogen containing compound. So your amino acid is now deaminated to a carbohydrate and a nitrogen containing compound. Carbohydrate obviously you can store, so that is stored in the liver in the form of glycogen. Nitrogen containing compound is converted into urea, and that urea is to be excreted, and the amino acid to be used by the body are taken away by the blood. Simple. This is how your urea is made. Okay. Now, basically, if I tell you about the word deamination, if they ask you to define it, it's just removal of the amino group from amino acid. Any questions from how urea is made?
Miss, could you write it
Yes.
down or repeat so that I can write it down?
Okay. See, simple steps. Firstly, that whatever food you're eating, it contains carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, right? And they're taken into alimentary canal, right? This is understanding, right? And you know proteins are broken down to amino acids, right? During your digestion. Agreed? They are taken into your alimentary canal and their proteins are then broken down to amino acids. Clear up till this point? Simple?
Yes, miss, the proteins are converted to amino acids in the stomach, right?
Yes.
Okay.
in the small intestine, basically. Remember when peptidase is produced? That breaks them down. If you remember the digestion chapter, right? So amino acids are absorbed into the blood and taken to the liver via the hepatic portal vein. Done up till this point. Now the amino acids that are needed, that are required by the body, are made into proteins in the liver, or they're released into the blood to be assimilated by your body cells. Now the ones that are left, that are not needed, they are deaminated to carbohydrate and a nitrogen containing compound. Now carbohydrate will be stored in the liver. Nitrogen containing compound will be converted into urea. That will then be excreted by the kidney, and amino acid, whatever was whatever was required, will be used by the body and will be taken away by the blood. Let me see if I have it written down. I think I have it. 1 second. Just simple, main thing starts from the fact when your amino acid is deaminated. I hope understanding has developed, right? It's simple step, okay? One second. Okay, say. Right. Please note this down. You can scroll from the top and then move to the top. Then we know when to move down. Quickly. Or can I move down? Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, just a second.
Okay. Okay, everyone's done?
I'm done.
Zaya, Ayla, Ahmad, Abdul Basit, Ibrahim.
Yes.
Okay, great. I will note this down, please, as well. Just 1 second, Zaya. Here. Where is this above your urethra? Alright. Alright, done.
I'm
It
done.
shouldn't take this much time. Okay, great. I'll move on now. Just give me a second. Let me just copy a diagram of the kidney and we're going to discuss kidney in detail. Okay. Yes, this one. Alright. Right, so this is what your kidney looks like. One second, it's sharing. Okay. Right, outside you have a capsule that is for protection. Okay, simple. A renal artery and renal vein. Okay, this is your ureter that enters your urinary bladder, same urethra, everything is same. Inside you have these, tubules that you can see, tubule-like formation. This is your nephron. Like, everything is a smaller subunit, like organism is a smaller subunit, that is a cell, right? So nephrons are basically smaller units of your kidney. Okay, there are millions of nephrons in each kidney that basically help with your filtration of your blood. Okay, this is your cortex. The outer part is supposed to be dark. Okay, I haven't colored it, but it's your darker region. And why is it dark? Because it contains a lot of capillaries. Inside this part is your medulla, that is your lighter region. Over here it contains your loop of Henle, that is a part of your nephron. You will just see it in a little while. It's a lighter region. Why? Because it has less capillaries as compared to your cortex. Pelvis, this is the point where all of your collecting ducts, again a part of your nephron, all of them are here. Collecting duct is a place where final final filtration is done, and then it comes out, and then it goes through your ureter and then into the urinary bladder. All right, so this is a typical structure of your kidney. Now if I talk about your nephron, one second. If I talk about your nephron in detail, if I talk about nephron, okay, so kidneys are made up of thousands of tiny tubules that are called nephron. They're made up of thousands of tiny tubules called nephrons. Called nephrons. Okay, each nephron begins in the cortex. Loops down into the medulla. Okay, back into the cortex. And then goes down again through the medulla. Through the medulla. And joins up the ureter. This is what your nephron looks like. Okay. This is the place of your arteriole, where you have afferent arteriole, and then over here you have your efferent arteriole. Enters from afferent, exits from efferent, and then it enters your glomerulus. Bowman's capsule that contains the glomerulus, which is a bunch of capillaries. Okay, it flows, and your filtrate basically flows through your proximal convoluted tubule, or it's also called as convoluted tubule. Proximal, why? Because it's in proximity. Proximity means close. When you say close proximity, so it's closer to this. That's why it's called proximal convoluted tubule, or you can also call it convoluted tubule. Then loop of Henle starts. Okay, this collectively, all of it from here till here, it's called your loop of Henle. It has two loops. Obviously, the one that's coming down, it's descending. The one that's going up, it's ascending. Okay. That joins up into a second convolutions are these, these humps. This is basically convolution. That's why we call it convoluted tubule. Now, since this is far from this, it's called distal. Like distal, the word distal is used for distance, right? This is called distal convolute. And then all this is present in your pelvis. Okay, we saw it here. Is the structure of kidney and nephron clear? We will talk about what happens at each point, but is the structure clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss, the collecting duct enters the pelvis?
Yes, all of the collecting ducts of all the nephrons enter the pelvis, and then together they enter the ureter. Every nephron will not bring it separately, right? All of them, there are millions of nephrons, right? So all of their collecting ducts pour their secretion into the pelvis, and then pelvis takes it to the ureter. Clear? This is one nephron. There are millions of nephrons like this. Thousands and millions of nephrons, okay?
Okay, miss.
Yes, rest of you. Saad, Ibrahim, and Ayla, Abdul
Yeah.
Basit, Ahmed. Abdul Basit, clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about urine formation. Okay. So in urine formation, blood flows to the kidney, into the kidney from the renal artery. from the renal artery. No clue what is wrong with this. Okay, then your renal artery basically divides to form many tiny coiled capillaries. Okay, so as your blood flows through a glomerulus, it is filtered. It divides to form many tiny coiled capillaries. Astaghfirullah, 1 second. Let me reshare it. I hope it works now. Okay, let's hope it's working fine now. So as blood flows through glomerulus, that is a bunch of capillaries, flows through a glomerulus. It is filtered. Okay. Small molecules can pass through the filter, obviously. It's filtered at this point. So small molecules can pass through the filter, but large molecules and blood cells cannot. Okay, so filter that passes through the filter includes that passes. The glitches happening because of there's something wrong with one node. I don't know. Filter that passes through the filter. Let's see if it's with all the pens. All the pens. One second. Show the filter. Okay, 1 second. Let me try resharing it one more time and let's see if it works. I don't know. So finally it's working fine now. Through the filter. What does it include? It includes water that passes, glucose passes, urea, and ions. What will pass? All the large molecules. Okay. Blood cells, for example, red blood cells, white blood cells, all of these things, they will not pass. Small molecules will pass through. See, ions can dissolve in water. Glucose and urea are also not large molecules. Right? Is this clear how urine is formed?
Yes.
Any questions? Any questions, anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So basically, there are two main processes that are involved in your urine filtration. You have filtration and reabsorption. Okay, at this stage, these are two. When you go into A levels, inshallah, there will be more detailed processes. The small molecules, such as water, is water, glucose, ions, and urea. Are filtered out of the blood into the nephron. Second is your reabsorption. So some substances that are waste are lost from the body, for example, urea, excess water, ions. Okay. However, some of the substances are not waste. Okay. So a lot of water, ions, and all of glucose are taken back into the blood as the fluid flows through the nephron. Okay, so any useful substance like water, glucose, they're all taken back into the blood. Is this clear? Are the two processes clear? Your filtration and reabsorption. Any questions?
Clear.
Everyone's clear? Zubasit, Saad, Zoya, Ayla, Ibrahim, Ahmed. Yes, Zoya.
Miss, can you explain what you wrote using the diagram? I don't really understand.
For your information,
No, the rest, like filtration and reabsorption, like all of this, what you've written.
okay. See, firstly, we are saying that blood flows into the kidney from the renal artery. Okay, this part. Okay. Then I said it will divide to find many coiled capillaries. Okay, so obviously Now we've entered the nephron. So you can see this coiled capillary, that is a bunch of capillaries that is called glomerulus. Okay. So as your blood will flow through this part, glomerulus part, it will be filtered. That means all the large molecules will not be passing through that. They'll be returned back to the blood. They will exit the blood via your efferent arteriole. Rest of it, that is small molecules, for example, your water, glucose, urea, and ions, all of them will be passing through this glomerulus, and then they'll be moving on their journey to your PCT, leukophil, DCT, and then we'll be moving on with the collecting duct. So this filtration part that takes place in a glomerulus, that is your filtration, in which we said that small molecules are filtered, large molecules are filtered out, and they're removed, and small molecules are filtered out of the blood into the nephron. So we have a glomerular filtrate that will then pass to the rest of your nephron. And in your reabsorption, we are saying that whatever needs to be removed, for example, your urea, your excess water, and that will be removed. Okay, but everything is not a waste, right? Do you think what all of the filtrate that is going, all of that will be lost from the body? If all of the filtrate will be lost from the body, then don't you think we'll be dehydrated? Out of 100%, only 1% filtrate is lost, 99% is reabsorbed back into the body. Glucose is not produced in the urine in normal conditions. If there is traces of glucose in the urine, that means the person is diabetic. There's some issue. Okay, so a lot of water, a lot of ions, and the glucose, they're all taken back into the blood as the fluid flows to the nephron. At each point, certain things are moving back. All right, and by the point it reaches the collecting duct, only 1% of the filtrate is produced as urine. Is this clear?
Yes.
Is there any more questions now?
No, miss.
All right, rest of you clear? Ahmad, Ibrahim, Umar, Abdul Basit, Ayla, Saad.
Yes.
Everyone's clear? Okay, great. Please note this down. Take a picture of this and then look at these easy. Okay, let me know what to move down. Can I scroll down?
Yes.
Everyone's done?
Miss, give me 1 second. I'll just click a picture.
Sure, sure. Is you done? Rest of you guys done?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Miss, all of these like glucose and water and ions are passing through the nephron, right? So how are they reabsorbed? Like from where is this reabsorption happening?
That is what we will discuss from tomorrow, inshallah. At each point, from PCT, loop of Henle, DCT, at this point, everything is reabsorbed. Glucose 100% reabsorbed. Okay, because you don't have traces of glucose in a normal person's urine. Okay, then only, like I told you, only 1% of the filtrate is, released as urine from the body. Okay, from each point, a little percentage of your filtrate is reabsorbed back. Okay, we'll discuss this from tomorrow onwards, from tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. But just remember that not all of it is lost from the body, only 1% is lost in the form of urine. Rest of it is still there. It's just reabsorbed at different places.
Okay, miss.
Alright, sir?
Yes.
Alright, done?
I'm done.
Alright, so then tomorrow, inshallah,
Done.
we're gonna start from. Okay, great. Tomorrow, inshallah, we're gonna start from the filtrate. Okay, where exactly how much is absorbed. And then we're gonna move on to homeostasis. Alright. And then we're gonna continue from there, inshallah. We're gonna talk about blood glucose concentration and then negative feedback mechanism, diabetes, and then your skin. And we'll try to finish it off tomorrow, inshallah. Alright. Alright, then I will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.
Love this, miss.
Allah Hafiz.
Miss, is it possible for you to upload the notes on Google Classroom?
Allah. Okay, Sada, I will upload it, inshallah. Okay.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.